Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to episode 2 of Talking Spirit. My name is Tay, priestess of Yemaya of 10 years and priestess of Madre Agua of 10 years. So today we're going to be talking about the difference between spirituality and religion and how I feel fear is a big factor in why so many people drift away from even taking the time to learn about the positive aspects of practicing an African spiritual lifestyle. So, first things first, you guys, don't forget to hit that like button. And always, if it's your first time joining the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the post notification button so that way anytime I upload a video, you'll be the first one to get it. And let's get right into it. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at the book. For those of you who didn't catch the first episode of Talking Spirit, I went over a book that I'm still going to be using probably for like the next few episodes called Fighting Soul on the Path of Orisha. I gave the information of the author and the title in that video, so make sure you check it out. I talked about the history of African spirituality. So in this one, we're going to get a little bit deeper and we're going to talk about the difference between spirituality and religion, and we're also going to talk about fear. So what I would like to say, in my opinion, the difference between spirituality and religion in my opinion, the difference between spirituality and religion revolves around, I would say, the person and the system. It really just depends on what it is that you're going for. I believe the short answer for that is spirituality, to me, is a lifestyle. It's not something that you do one day and then the next day you decide not to do. It's like waking up, you know, you got to brush your teeth, or the first thing most of us have to do in the morning is go sit on that toilet and use the bathroom. We got to pee. So that's what spirituality is. It's about getting up and doing what you need to do. It's also about relying and existing with nature and using the energies around you, manipulating them, and not in a negative way. Because a lot of the times when people hear the word manipulate, they automatically associate certain terms with in a negative way, which I'm going to get into that a little bit deeper. But it's about working with the energies and recognizing God within you. I believe that we all have the essence in God in us. We don't have to go and sit in front of necessarily an altar or be in the pulpit in order to receive our spiritual healing. You can receive your spiritual healing wherever you are. It really just depends on the person and what they're going for. I know for me, being that I grew up Baptist and I would go to church on a regular basis, I wasn't fulfilled spiritually. Yes, I was going to church every Sunday. Yes, I was going to Bible study. Yes, I was receiving the word, but it just wasn't hitting me. It just wasn't connecting with me energetically. And so that's when I started drifting away. I actually separated from the church sometime before I actually found my spiritual lifestyle right now. Another major difference that I feel, and again, I'm not a master. I don't have a PhD. You guys are going to hear me say that a lot because I don't want anybody to say, well, what qualifies you? There's nothing that qualifies me. This is my opinion, which I'm entitled to just like anybody else. So when I'm speaking to you guys, just know that I'm speaking from my experience. I'm not speaking from a place of I know it all. This is just my personal experience. But from what my experience is, I feel like another major difference between spirituality and religion is that I guess you could say it's kind of negative, but then again, it's just kind of not. I'm going to say that I feel like with spirituality, it holds you, the person, accountable. You are responsible for the decisions and the choices that you make. A lot of the times with religion, it's like you can pass it off on something or somebody else. You can say, oh, well, the devil tempted me, so that's why I did it, you know, and that to me, it just doesn't work, because then it takes that person out of sitting in that energy of being accountable and present and responsible for whatever it is that they have done, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. It doesn't really matter. We are all responsible for our actions. And you know, it's like it's a lot of terms that kind of translate over from Christianity that I'm going to use, you know, just to help you guys kind of make the connection. My main focus with you guys, if anything else, is not to convince you or convert you to do anything. My main goal is just to simply inform you, especially my melanated sisters and brothers. I want us to be more informed and more connected to things that will bring us one step closer to ultimately growing as a people. If anything, if nothing else that you get out of this, it's not about saying that Christianity is nothing and the church is nothing. I'm not going to sit on here and disrespect the church or Christianity, Catholicism, Baptist. I'm not going to disrespect any of that. All I'm doing is inform you and saying, hey, you know what? There are other options out there for you. Look into this. This may work for you. So, not to get too far off subject, again, the main difference between spirituality and religion, in my opinion, is that spirituality is more about aligning yourself with the essence of God and realizing that God works and moves through you. And a lot of the times I feel like with religion, it's that God is just God and only God has the power and only God can do this for you and only God can manifest these things for you. Spirituality is saying, hey, no, energy flows through us. We have the power to manifest the things in our lives that we want to. If you just stay on this path, if you just continue to make these types of decisions, if you just continue to stay faithful or stay consistent in your everyday praying, if you're in your everyday libations and your everyday offerings, then you can manifest all the things that you want in your life. So that's just my own personal spin on it. What I'm going to talk about now is fear. Which, like I said in the beginning of this video, I feel like fear has definitely altered the conscious mind in being able to accept that African spirituality is not anything that's negative. So I'm going to read a little bit from my book, Finding Soul on the Path to Orisha. So stay with me, people. Okay, we're going to start off talking about voodoo. The term voodoo is often slapped on any ritual from Africa that the Western mind doesn't understand. The religious system known as voodoo originated in Haiti, but has its roots in Dahomey at West Africa. The word voodoo is derived from the Fon word voodoo, which means spirit or deity. I've actually heard or read that voodoo is another word for prayer too. So just so you guys know, like I said, take the time to actually research the terms that you hear. Voodoo is automatically slapped with, oh, there's a black cat and there's a big cauldron and they're doing negativity. No. Voodoo means different things to different parts of different people wherever they practice. So as I just read here, voodoo means spirit or deity. But I read when I was researching about 5 years ago that voodoo actually means prayer. Food for thought. The Fon people and the Yoruba are neighbors and share many ideas about life, nature, and spirituality. Both the Fon and Yoruba respect the power of words, which again, I know you guys have heard that. I know you guys have seen that. When you go to church, what do they always tell you? Be careful of what you say. What you put out there comes back. African spirituality, I would say, in my opinion, outside of the work that goes into it and the consistency that goes into it and ultimately the love and the connection, I would say 50% of African spirituality, if not more, has a lot to do with karma. And we believe that what you say, what you put out there is what you're going to get. So if all you think about, all you talk about is negativity, wishing bad on this person, or not even wishing bad on that person, but just don't have any clear positive thoughts about yourself, that's what you're going to manifest. Okay? So I'm also going to be saying that a lot to you guys. Be careful, and trust me, I'm speaking to myself when I say this because I do this on a regular basis. I find myself a lot of the times thinking real positive, and then in a split second it'll shift and I'll go, oh well, this is never going to happen for me. I don't understand, why is this happening to me, and da. African spirituality again is about accountability. If you find yourself in a situation that you feel is repetitious, you're like, I've been through this before, why does this keep happening to me? Then obviously there's something that's there that you need to acknowledge, learn from it so that you can move on. I truly believe, let me put my book down because I feel like a message is coming. Hold on. I really truly believe that what we are, what the body is a vehicle. It's the car. It's just a car. What you put on the car doesn't matter. The type of gas that you put in the car does matter. For me, the gas is the soul, the energy. That's what drives the car. That's what moves the car. Okay? So when you talk about sitting in accountability, what we're here for is to learn. So that way, when we move on to the next part of life, wherever that may be, whatever that may be, we don't carry this baggage with us. Okay? So we're here to learn and evolve. That's the only reason why we're here. So a lot of the times when you find yourself in situations that's repetitious, it's because what you needed to learn from that situation, you didn't learn. What you needed to take from that situation, you didn't take. Either you're still battling against yourself or you're still battling against the message. And ultimately, that's why you're in a repetitious cycle. We're going to talk about that in another video too, because I want to go deep into generational curses because we all suffer from them. Trust me, me too. So, nevertheless, let me start back at that last sentence. Both the Fon and the Yoruba respect the power of words, drums, leaves, and ritual, and few of their gods even have similar names. Nevertheless, Fon and Yoruba are two distinct traditions, each with its own practices and teachings, only some of which intersect. Okay. I actually just mentioned this, but the author of this book, she actually goes into it right here. Another common misconception is that all African spiritual traditions are synonymous with black magic, meaning magic that is worked for evil ends. Black magic is part of the tradition, but only a small percentage of devotees use it. So let me talk about that for a split second, because I want you guys to be very, 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 very clear. First of all, you're not going to go to any religion or spiritual lifestyle and not find people that are not doing what they're supposed to do. We're in a world where all types of energy and people exist. With that being said, there obviously has to be a certain amount of balance. So there's going to be good and there's going to be bad. I won't necessarily say evil. I really don't want to use the word bad, but just for the sake of the example that I'm giving when I'm talking about balance, just know that for every good situation or for every positive situation, there's going to be a negative situation, okay? So the reason why I'm saying this is because, like she said, automatically when you say, or I know when I say, I am a priestess in an African spiritual lifestyle, the first thing people think automatically is negative. Okay, we do animal sacrifices. Yes, we do. But in the Bible of Cain and Abel, now it's been a long time since I read it, so I'm just going to point out the major facts of this story. But in the Bible, the story of Cain and Abel, to my understanding, there was an animal sacrifice in that story. I can't remember which brother it was, to be perfectly honest. But what I do know is that one of those brothers presented, I believe it was fruits and vegetables and flowers as an offering. An offering, remember that, as an offering to God. Whereas the other one presented an animal sacrifice. Now, a lot of people don't talk about it. They don't want to mention it. They don't want to say it's bad or negative. But again, as soon as you say African spirituality, there's always a negative misconception. Let me tell you that the animal sacrifices that are done in this tradition ultimately represent life. There is nothing that is done out of cruelty. The animals are prayed over. It's ritualistic, meaning that we are there. We are saying thanks for this animal for offering its life in a position that we cannot. And these animals are usually consumed. This is not a senseless animal sacrifice going on where stuff is just being, like the stuff you see on the internet where you're just slicing up animals and just tossing them in the trash. No, the foods, the animals that are utilized are cooked and prepared, and specific meals are given to whomever just went through the ceremony, or it is shared with everyone that participated in the ceremony. Okay? Because a lot of the times, like I said, the moment you mention animal sacrifices, oh, hell no, oh, look at that, oh, that was in the Old Testament, we don't practice. And that's another thing that kind of gets me personally about religion. You can't pick and choose what parts of the Bible that you want to actually focus on. If all of it is supposed to work together for the good of the person and them being able to evolve and grow, then all of it is supposed to work together, right? So it's the same thing with African spirituality. You can't take one piece of it and not accept the rest. So African spirituality has a lot to do with walking by faith, which is another word or another concept that I know you guys are familiar with for those of you who already practice Christianity or baptism or Catholicism or whatever. Walking by faith, meaning a lot of the times whenever rituals are performed, you're blindfolded in before entering into the ceremonial room. That is because it's supposed to get you in a state of mind to be trusting, submitting, fully submitting yourself to the process. Okay, there is nothing sexual or negative going on in any ceremonies. Now, when I say that to you guys, know that I am talking about, again, the people who really truly have a heart for this lifestyle. I'm not talking about, and I can't speak for the people who are doing things that are negative that help to give our tradition and lifestyle a false name. But I do want to make it clear that you can't just tack negativity onto one particular lifestyle or aspect of spirituality just simply because you do not understand it and say that this is all bad, but then can't acknowledge that, oh, in the Christian church there are pimps for pastors, there are all kinds of things that are going on. Like I said, I don't want to disrespect and get too deep into it, but the only thing that I'm trying to convey is that there are good and bad people in every walks of life. So just like there are good and bad people that dwell in the church house, there's good and bad people that are going to dwell in this type of practice too. I can't speak for those. I'm only speaking for the ones that are like me, that have heart for this, that really truly love it and want to help others cross the bridge or just help others get clarity and understanding. Okay, so hopefully I didn't unfold my page so I can get back to it. Okay, so here she goes into what I just spoke about, which is more about animal sacrifices and spiritual possession. There are also a myriad of misconceptions surrounding any spiritual practice that involves possession and animal sacrifice. Most African traditions, including Yoruba-based ones, do work with trance and blood sacrifice. So for those of you who don't know what trance is, I'm going to try to give you a funny example, but I'm pretty sure from a majority of my melanated brothers and sisters, you guys have seen that movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg. First of all, what she was considered in that movie was a medium, even though they may not have called it that. Everyone looked at it as her being a freak, and her sisters freaked out and, looked at it as being a curse. But she was a medium. Her gift was communicating with people who have passed on. Okay. You see towards the end of the movie, she actually started to embrace it because it was something that she couldn't turn off. So by the time Sam went back to ask her for her help, as you remember, she was kind of sitting there in the chair and there was like a long line of ghosts that was just waiting to get their messages through to their loved ones. So that is a form of trance. Another form at the end, I'm going to say the most closest form of trance at the end, when she decided to allow Sam to use her body so that he could share a dance with his loved one. That's a form of trance. Okay. So that is something that occurs not for everybody. That is a spiritual gift, and not everybody has that gift. Some people have the ability that Whoopi Goldberg had in that movie, where they can only hear and just tell you what they hear. Some people have the gift of sight, and I don't necessarily mean sight as in seeing into the future, but actually they can see shapes or forms or figures of spirit and have a conversation with them that way and be able to transmit the message that way. Some people actually allow the spirit to pass into their body, and then they just allow the spirit to give the messages that need to be given. That's another gift. Everybody's gift is different. Some people have all of them. Some people have one of them. Some people have none of them. It really just depends. Everybody's gift is different. That's a totally another video as well. So let me see, where was I? They work with trance and blood sacrifice. That is the ritualistic killing of animals. Okay. In fact, virtually every world religion has had similar practices. And such rituals are always rooted in the desire to pay reverence, which basically means you want to pay homage. So, as I said in the story of Cain and Abel, is really no different in giving a basket of fruits and vegetables to honor his relationship or everything that he was thankful for, or asking for assistance in something else, whatever the case may be. That is paying homage to God. So in African spirituality, we do a lot of that. It's pretty consistent. That is something that we do on a regular basis, just not on special occasions. I like to give baskets of fruit or candles or other things to pay homage to my ancestors and orishas, and to invoke different energies around me, okay? Although it is. So then she goes to say, which I mentioned to you guys again in the first video, although it is taboo for any devotee except between initiates, meaning two people who are, like if I'm speaking to another priest or priestess, it's okay for us to go over certain aspects of a ritual or the ceremony because we've already walked that path. But it's not okay, for example, for me to tell you guys all the details and specifics of a ceremony, because again, in order to preserve the sacredness of my lifestyle, I'm not going to do that, and neither is she. So we hold those things to ourselves. Like I said, this is a lot about walking by faith. So in order for you to get that knowledge and learn, you have to learn by doing and completely submitting to the process, okay? She goes on to say, she can tell you that in Yoruba practices, as in many religions, blood symbolizes life. By offering blood to the orishas, we enliven our relationship with the gods, stimulating and fortifying our spiritual unity with them. Okay? So that's all I'm going to go into today. I just thought that was really, really significant for me to discuss what I feel the differences are between spirituality and religion, and also to give you guys a little bit of information regarding the fear that is surrounding this lifestyle. Like I said, in every religion, in every path, in every part of life, there's going to be both positive and there's going to be both negative. Just like there's negative people in the Catholic Church, there's negative people in the Catholic, in the Christian Church, there's negative people in the Baptist Church, there's going to be negative people in African tradition. But just because you don't understand African tradition and you familiarize yourself with, let's just say, Catholicism or Christianity, doesn't mean that you can completely write off this system and say this is just all negative, it's all bad. That's what the purpose of this video is. I just want you guys to understand that, like she said, and like I mentioned also, there are a lot of practices and ritualistic details and things that go on in African ceremonies that are very close to Christianity. I personally believe that Christianity, Catholicism, Muslim, and all that derived from African spirituality. I feel like certain pieces of African spirituality was just crafted and what is the word I'm trying to say? Right on the tip of my tongue. Basically birthed Christianity, because I've heard people say who are devout to Muslim practices say that the 99 principles or the 99 attributes, I forgot what you call it, in the Muslim book correlates with what we call odus, which are stories or proverbs, just the same as the stories in the books in the Bible, and in the Yoruba Lukumi, Candomblé, Shango Baptiste lifestyle. So there's a lot of similarities. So if nothing else that you guys got from this video, I just want you to understand that no path is better than the other. No path is right. No path is wrong. They are what's here. They are tools that are here to help guide us ultimately to evolve and to be a better person tomorrow than we are today. I can't tell you what path is best for you, neither can the next person. All I can do is simply inform you and say, hey, you know what? If you're not feeling it over there, then why don't you take a look at this right here? At the same time, if that's not your thing, I'm cool with that too. This is my opinion. On that note, you guys, please don't forget to like this video, share, and subscribe. I'll catch you in episode 3. Stay tuned to see what the title is going to be. Peace. Love y'all.